The strange and mysterious blooms are back, with numerous reports of loud booms being reported in Yellow Medicine County, Minnesota, with the epicenter of the reports occurring in the town of Canby, causing residents of the town to feel uneasy. Some residents have reported that the blooms have even shook their homes. Authorities are at a loss to explain the cause of these really loud booms and why they're occurring at this time. However, the USGS has decided to install seismometers in Yellow Medicine County to see if the earthquakes are occurring in the area in order to assist with the investigation. We will bring you more on this story as the situation develops in the coming days.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. At 2:27 p.m. Central Daylight Time, an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.8 has struck the town of Canby, Minnesota. Increased seismic activity associated with aftershocks is expected for the next 24 to 36 hours, according to the United States Geological Survey. In addition, after the earthquake, the Yellow Medicine County Sheriff's Office reported that there are lots of cracks in the ground and on the roads in the area and throughout much of Yellow Medicine County. Further investigation of these cracks will be conducted later today. In the meantime, all residents in the affected areas are asked to remain alert and vigilant for the possibility of more seismic activity and to take cover under sturdy pieces of furniture inside their homes should another earthquake occur. Please stay tuned to media outlets for more information when it becomes available on the situation.
In Canby, it was mainly sunny, with a temperature of 107 degrees, 101 in Porter, 102 in Minnesota, 92 in Marshall, 81 in Tyler, 87 in Granite Falls, 85 in Montevideo, 89 in Madison. The National Weather Service in Minneapolis-St. Paul has issued an excessive heat warning for the following counties in Minnesota: Yellow Medicine, Lyon, Lincoln, and Lac-qui-Parle counties, until 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time this evening. Heat index values could reach 140 degrees in some locations this afternoon inside the Warren area. Temperatures could reach as high as 110 degrees this afternoon, creating very dangerous conditions for outdoor activities. Temperatures of 90 to 100 degrees are only occurring within the Warren counties, and no other warnings have been issued for anywhere else in Minnesota due to temperatures outside of the Warren area are only expected to reach into the mid-80s. It is unknown why the extreme heat is being confined to such a localized area, but the National Weather Service in conjunction with the United States Geological Survey will be investigating in the area to find out the cause, with some geologists thinking yesterday's earthquake and opening cracks may be related to these unusually high temperatures. Impacts, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and other heat-related illnesses will be possible, especially if you spend a significant amount of time outdoors or are involved in any strenuous outdoor activity. Precautionary preparedness actions: take extra precautions if you work or spend time outside. When possible, Reschedule strenuous activities to early morning or evening. Know the signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Wear lightweight and loose-fitting clothing when possible and drink plenty of water to reduce the risk during outdoor work. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration recommends scheduling frequent rest breaks in shaded or air-conditioned environments. Anyone overcome by heat should be moved to a cool and shaded location. If someone is showing signs of heat stroke, do not wait to act. Heat stroke is an emergency. Call 911 immediately if anyone shows symptoms of heat stroke.
We begin our 5 p.m. evening newscast with the mysterious extreme heat that is occurring in Yellow Medicine County. Temperatures in that area have increased to highly dangerous levels, with the temperatures reaching as high as 130 degrees in some instances. Residents have reported that the cracks that were opened up in Canby from yesterday's earthquake are now steaming, and some officials are starting to lean towards the cracks as the reason why temperatures have reached into the triple digits in such a localized patch in Yellow Medicine County, with the patch of extreme heat also including some communities in Lincoln, Leon, and Lac Qui Parle. With the patch of extreme heat also including some communities in Lincoln, Leon, and Lac Qui Parle counties. The USGS, from what we have last heard, is still investigating in the region, and the cause of extreme heat is still being looked into heavily.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Minnesota Emergency Management in conjunction with the United States Geological Survey and the National Weather Service. A voluntary evacuation order is now in effect for all of Yellow Medicine County west of Viewpoint S Highway 59, Lincoln County north of the town of Ivanhoe, Lyon County north of the city of Marshall, and southern Lac Qui Parle County. Unexplained dangerously high temperatures are currently occurring in the mentioned areas, with temperatures in some instances reaching as high as 140 degrees. These dangerously high temperatures have caused some areas of pavement to melt, and some tires on cars to flatten. In addition, emergency officials have reported that cracks opened up from yesterday's earthquake now appear to be steaming. This new observation is leading the USGS and National Weather Service to believe that the cracks from yesterday's earthquake might be causing this patch of extreme heat in the region. The USGS has also noted that steaming from the cracks could be a sign that volcanic activity could be occurring in the region, though it cannot be confirmed at this time. Please note that this is not a mandatory evacuation order, but it is strongly advised that you evacuate if you want to keep safe. If you plan on evacuating, grab enough food and water to last you and your family at least 3 days, a first aid kit, clothing to change into, and a battery-powered radio. If you don't plan on evacuating, turn your air conditioning unit to the highest level to keep your home or business cool. Do not remain outside longer than 10 minutes at a time as these temperatures are capable of causing heat exhaustion or heat stroke very quickly. Stay tuned to this station and other media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
We have breaking news just coming into our newsroom regarding the chain of unusual events occurring around Yellow Medicine County. The United States Geological Survey has come forward with what they observed from the region over the past few days, and some of their findings are chilling. The USGS has confirmed that the cause of the localized triple-digit heat wave that is ongoing in around Yellow Medicine County is a result of a developing volcano in the area. That's right, folks. We have a volcano forming in the state of Minnesota. Ground uplift has been confirmed by the USGS in the region, with the greatest uplift occurring outside of the town of Canby, with ground uplift over the past few days amounting to more than 6 feet. Geysers have also now been confirmed to be erupting in Canby, with some of the geysers forming in the streets. It should be noted that the extreme heat caused by the developing volcano is not going to go away anytime soon in the area. An exclusive heat warning remains in effect for Yellow Medicine, Lincoln, Lyon, and Lacquay Parley counties for temperatures ranging from 110 degrees to as high as 145 degrees, with the possibility of a few locations reaching 150 degrees. People who have not left the areas being impacted by these dangerously high temperatures will be having a very hard time for the foreseeable future. If you are warned in the warned area, please consider evacuating as these temperatures are exceeded to make staying in your present location extremely difficult, if not possible.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. Civil danger warning is now in effect for the following counties: Yellow Medicine, Lyon, Lincoln, and Lacquay Parley counties until further notice. An extremely dangerous situation is occurring in the warned area. The United States Geological Survey has confirmed that a volcano is developing within the warned area, causing earthquakes, extremely high temperatures, steam rising from cracks, uplifting of the ground, and the eruption of several geysers and the formation of hot springs. These continuing impacts are making the area extremely hazardous to remain in, and the United States Geological Survey has stated that the new volcano has the potential to erupt within the next 2 weeks, and will be monitored for further signs of eruption. A voluntary evacuation order remains in effect for the warned area, and an excessive heat warning remains in effect until further notice. Please note that evacuation is not required, but is strongly recommended, if you want to keep yourself safe from the hazards occurring inside of the warned area. Stay tuned to this station and other media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. A volcano watch is in effect for the entire state of Minnesota until further notice. The United States Geological Survey is watching a developing volcano under Yellow Medicine County. The volcano, now being dubbed as Canby Volcano, has the potential to erupt within the next 1 to 2 weeks. The United States Geological Survey has also made another discovery about Canby Volcano. It has been discovered that Canby Volcano has an extremely large magma chamber that is only slightly smaller than the magma chamber that sits under Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. Due to this discovery, the USGS is warning that any eruption that occurs from Canby Volcano could be a supervolcanic eruption comparable to the size of the Lava Creek eruption in Yellowstone National Park 640,000 years ago. Residents are advised to continue monitoring media outlets for more information on this potentially dangerous situation.
The situation with Canby Volcano continues to get worse as the hours go by. The town of Canby is in siege as they deal with the melted roadways and geysers erupting in the middle of the town. Yesterday, Canby had high temperatures of 152 degrees, making it extremely dangerous for anybody to be outside of their homes. Yesterday, 8 people have died from the heat-related illness in Canby. with at least 24 more in the hospital for heat stroke. And Canby is the only town in exclusive heat warning area that it has reported any temperature higher than 130 degrees, meaning that the Canby area is where the worst of the geological activity is occurring. The ground near Canby has risen by another 12 feet over the past couple of days, and the USGS is starting to believe that the eruption is imminent within the next few days. The USGS is set to address the public later.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey in conjunction with the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the National Weather Service. The voluntary evacuation order that was in effect for Yellow Medicine, Lincoln, Lyon, and Lac-qui-Parle counties has been upgraded to a mandatory evacuation order. Dangerous geological activity that has occurred in the evacuation area over the past several days continues to get worse. The Catesby volcanic system is causing extreme damage to parts of the warned area in the form of hydrothermal explosions, geyser eruptions, earthquakes, and through the extremely high temperatures. Yesterday, a high temperature of 152 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded in Canby, Minnesota, and the temperatures near Canby are only expected to continue to increase to highly dangerous levels. It is now unsafe for anyone to stay in the evacuation area. Every person in the evacuation area needs to evacuate immediately. While evacuating, be sure to grab food, water, medical supplies, batteries, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio for you and your family. Your food and water must last you 3 days per person in your family. Be sure to tie a white towel around your mailbox before leaving your residence. This will let authorities know that you are aware of the situation and that you have evacuated. Do not pick up people from schools, nursing homes, or hospitals, as these facilities have their own evacuation procedures. Repeating, dangerous geological activity is making many areas in the evacuation zone uninhabitable. Evacuate now. Extremely dangerous Canby volcano set to erupt within the next 3 days. Volcano warning now in effect for the entire state of Minnesota. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey in conjunction with the Minnesota Emergency Management Agency. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The newly discovered Canby supervolcano, which has been closely monitored over the past several days, is now expected to erupt soon. The Canby volcano is expected to erupt within the next 72 hours. Due to the expected large size of the eruption, all areas within 100 miles of the town of Canby are ordered to evacuate immediately, which expands the evacuation zone well beyond the initial threat area. If you have not been asked to evacuate, stock up on enough food, water, and medical supplies to last you and your family for at least 12 to 18 days. Make sure to buy facial masks in order to protect yourself from breathing in volcanic ash. Be sure to keep all pets and animals inside a safe structure during the eruption to prevent them from getting exposed to volcanic ash. Repeating, a volcano warning is in effect for the entire state of Minnesota. Take immediate precautions now.
While people in the immediate vicinity of the Canby volcano are evacuating, people around here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area are rushing to stores to stock up on supplies before the eruption starts. Many stores are quickly running out of stock due to all items being in very high demand at the current time. Riots are also starting up quickly and are going out of control very fast, with the National Guard struggling to keep up with the current situation as it is right now.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Minnesota National Guard. Mass rioting is occurring throughout many towns and cities across the entire state of Minnesota due to a struggle for resources. Rioters have been reported to be the most widespread in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area, with reports of rioters breaking into stores and looting them until every shelf was completely empty. Local police, state police, and the National Guard are all working together in an attempt to get the rioting under control. For your safety, stay away from areas where rioting is occurring. Lock all doors and windows to prevent any rioters from breaking into your home. Do not participate in these riots. If you are caught participating in these riots, you will be arrested and taken in for questioning. Stay tuned to this station and other media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
We will be discussing tips on how you could prepare for the upcoming volcanic disaster right here after the break.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. At 11:31 a.m. Central Daylight Time, an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 8.2 has struck the town of Canby, Minnesota. The full extent of damage to the town is unknown at this time, and aftershocks are expected to occur in the area for the next 48 hours. Due to the already unstable situation at Canby Volcano, an eruption could occur at any time. For your protection from further seismic activity, when an earthquake occurs, follow these instructions. If you are indoors, get under a sturdy piece of furniture to protect yourself from falling debris. If you are outdoors, get away from buildings and power lines and head to an open area until the shaking stops. You are also reminded that, if you are within 100 miles of Canby, you are under a mandatory evacuation order. If you have not yet evacuated and live in the evacuation zone, you are asked to evacuate immediately. Stay tuned to this station and other media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. We interrupt your programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. A catastrophic geological event has occurred in Minnesota. A newly formed supervolcano, known as Canby Volcano, has violently erupted, sending an ash cloud more than 14 kilometers into the atmosphere. Towns within 50 miles of the volcano have been completely wiped out, and the ash cloud is spreading eastward, and it is expected that the entire U-Point east of the Great Plains will experience ash fall. This is a potential mass casualty situation. Any person who is still within 120 miles of the volcano is asked to evacuate immediately. Anyone caught within the debris and pyroclastic flows originating from Canby Volcano will be killed upon contact. Evacuate now. Grab any supplies such as non-perishable food, water, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, and a battery-powered radio. Keep a small bell or mask near you to protect yourself from breathing in falling ash. The President will be speaking on all stations shortly. Please stand by. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regularly scheduled programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to provide news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is KARE 11. We will continue to serve the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. If you are not in this local area, tune to a station providing news and information for your area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. Do not use the telephone. The telephone line should be kept open for emergency use. The emergency alert system has been activated. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regularly scheduled programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to provide news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is KARE 11. We will continue to serve the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. If you are not in this local area, tune to a station providing news and information for your area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. Do not use the telephone. The telephone line should be kept open for emergency use. The emergency alert system has been activated.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, it is my unhappy duty to report to you that a catastrophe has fallen upon our great nation. As some of you might know already, a supervolcanic eruption has occurred in the state of Minnesota, already causing catastrophic damage and claiming numerous lives, and ashfall is expected to impact roughly half of the mainland United States. Widespread crop failures could be expected, which will be hurting the food supply, and after the eruption has ended, global temperatures are expected to drop by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, plunging the world into a nuclear winter. My fellow Americans, we are stepping into a dark age. An age of hardships, an age of conflict, whether it be internal or external, and an age of famine. However, despite the hardships that are to come, I can assure you that we will be fighting back by running underground or indoor farming facilities in an attempt to keep the food supply up. We will also be focusing heavily on cleanup efforts of ash after the eruption has ended, and we will make sure that we can survive as a nation. If we all work together, we will be able to overcome this great obstacle, and we will be able to emerge as one nation stronger than ever before. Thank you, and may God bless the United States.
That was a message from the President of the United States. We now return to the emergency alert system. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Extensive ashfall is continuing to fall across the state of Minnesota. At this time, areas closest to the volcano have been buried in as much as 6 feet of ash, with currently 6 inches of ashfall reported around the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area and counting. This ashfall is creating very dangerous living conditions all across Minnesota, bringing air quality down to record lows, and making it impossible to breathe outside without proper protection, and causing power failures. Transportation has come to a halt across the state, especially with air travel. All airports in Minnesota have been closed until further notice. In addition, this ashfall is creating very hazardous driving conditions across the state, with some roads being impassable due to heavy ashfall. Residents are advised to shelter in place until further notice. To shelter in place, lock all doors and windows. Turn off all heating and air conditioning units. Seal all cracks with tape or damp towels. Make sure you have all essential items, including a first aid kit, food and water to last you and your family at least 14 days, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio. Please be advised that due to current driving conditions, travel is being discouraged unless absolutely necessary. Also be aware that heavy ash fall might lead to roof collapses, and due to the threat of roof collapses in some areas, additional evacuation orders may be needed at any time, so be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is currently setting up more emergency shelters across the state to prepare for more possible evacuees. Stay tuned to the station and other media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
Good afternoon, Minneapolis. It is currently 12:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time on June 24th, 2020, and as it has been for the past few days, our top story is the ongoing supervolcanic eruption at the Canby volcano. This eruption has shown no signs of stopping, and ash is continuing to come down hard on our studio. I think at this point we have about 15 inches of accumulated ash in the area. I don't think the situation is going to get any better anytime soon. A lot of ash is accumulated on the roof of our studio, and there's the possibility that we may need to evacuate our studio sometime soon, but for now we will stay on the air as long as we possibly can. So, from what we know so far, numerous roof collapses are occurring across Minneapolis, St. Paul metro area, which has left numerous citizens trapped. Information about injuries and fatalities has been scarce during the crisis, and the latest information is hard to come across. However, from what it sounds, most of the buildings that are having their roofs cave in are those with flat roofs. Multiple power failures have also occurred across the region, and from what I'm told, about 4 million customers across the state have no electricity at this time, and water treatment plants are also struggling to keep the water safe for drinking. A lot of ash is accumulated in the drinking water supply. Okay, I just got word from my producers that we'll be evacuating the studio and set up in a backup location. Until then, the station will be broadcasting news coverage from our ABC station in the area. Folks, please take this situation extremely seriously. This situation this is not a situation that should be ignored.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Heavy ash fall across the state of Minnesota is causing the roofs on many buildings to collapse, causing numerous injuries and fatalities. As much as 22 inches of ash has accumulated across the Minneapolis, St. Paul metropolitan area. The buildings that are in the most danger are those with flat roofs. If you are in a building with a flat roof, you are advised to relocate to a safer location immediately. If you are in a residence with a sloped roof, evacuation might not be necessary. However, ash will need to be cleared off your roof to prevent buildup over time. If you need to go outside to clear ash, please make sure to wear the proper protective gear to protect yourself from falling ash. Make sure to wear goggles over your eyes and wear a facial mask to prevent yourself from breathing in any volcanic ash. Stay tuned to the station and other media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency in conjunction with the Minnesota Emergency Management Agency. This is an administrative message. The volcanic eruption that started in Canby over a week ago has now come to an end. However, ash is continuing to fall across the state, and it is expected to continue to fall for the next 24 to 36 hours. Additional ash accumulations of 3 to 5 inches are expected, with some localized higher amounts. Although the eruption is now over, catastrophic damage has been reported across the state of Minnesota, especially in areas closer to Canby volcano. The town of Canby, along with surrounding towns, have been completely destroyed. The damage is being described as if the area was never developed to begin with. Towns within 50 miles of the volcano have also been completely destroyed and buried in thick layers of ash. Residents are advised not to return to areas within 50 miles of Canby Calder as there is no home to return to. In addition, roads continue to remain impassable due to heavy ash fall blocking the roadways. Airports also remain closed until further notice due to buildup of ash at the airport. A shelter-in-place order remains in effect for all of Minnesota until further notice, and all unnecessary travel is not advised due to continued dangerous road conditions. Stay tuned to this station and other outlets for more information on the situation.